We'll call this meeting to order. This is Thursday, January 11, 3:30 in the afternoon. Bellflower regular meeting of the City Council. We had no closed session, so there's no reportable actions. But let's go ahead and have our roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Dutton.
Here.
Councilmember Morse.
Here.
Councilmember Sanchez.
Here.
Councilmember Santinas.
Here.
Mayor Coops.
Here. At this time, we're going to have our invocation. I'll be providing that, and that'll be immediately followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. So remain standing and stand at this point. Our gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you this afternoon to give you thanks. We give you thanks for all the things you've provided us and thankfulness for our city. Be with us as we deliberate the items in front of us. Give us the wisdom to do what is proper and correct. We're always mindful of praying for the safety of our first responders, our sheriff's deputies, and our firefighters, and everyone that takes care of us on the local level. We also want to remember those that protect us on the national level. All the men and the women of our armed forces work for us very hard to keep us safe. Be with us throughout this meeting. In His name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Please put your right hand over your heart, address the flag, and say with me, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. We're going to do city council announcements, and I'm going to do the first one as soon as I find out where it is. The Bravo Awards, also known as Bellflower, recognizes acts of valor and outstanding service, honors individuals and employees who demonstrate outstanding public service on acts of heroism related to public safety in Bellflower during the past year. Citizens, residents, sheriff and fire department personnel, medical and security professionals are all eligible to be nominated. The nomination form can be accessed on the city's website. You can find that at www.bellflower.org. Nominations will be accepted through January 15th, 2024. Recipients of the 2024 Bravo Awards will be honored at a special ceremony on Thursday, April 25th, 2004. Mayor Pro Tem Ray Dutton.
Thank you, Mayor. CR&R, our waste management, has begun their annual Christmas tree collection and recycling service on Thursday, December 26th, and continuing the curbside pickups through Saturday, January 13th. That's just this Saturday. Tree collectors will come by and schedule a collection that day. Trees must not contain ornaments, decorations, stands, or lights. Flock trees will also be collected, but they will not be recycled due to the composition of the flock. For more information, please call CR&R at 562-944-4716. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Dutton. Now I'll have a presentation by Council Member Wendy Morse.
The city is in the process of creating a Parks and Recreations master plan to provide a modern vision for the Parks and Recreation system in Bellflower. The plan will provide guidance for future improvements and the development of new parks, recreational facilities, and programs. The next workshop will be held at Bellflower City Hall on Thursday, January 18th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Come on out to learn more and provide your input on the future of Bellflower's parks and recreation programs and facilities. For more information, please visit www.bellflowerparksplan.com or call 562-804-1424, extension 2267. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Morse. Council Member Victor Sanchez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good afternoon, Bellflower. The Bellflower Chamber of Commerce invites businesses, service clubs, and the community to join their next monthly morning mingle, which will take place on Tuesday, January the 30th from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. For more information, please call the Bellflower Chamber of Commerce at 562-867-1744. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Last but not least, City Council member, former mayor of the city of Bellflower.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm waiting for my name.
Well, I've forgotten it. Sonny Santana.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, everyone. The Bellflower Farmers Market operates from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. every Monday, like today, except for certain holidays at the Town Center Plaza. There's a wide variety of selection of pressed produce, bread, food vendors, and handcrafted items. For questions about the market, please call 562-8041-424, extension 2013. Or to participate as a vendor in the market, please visit farmandcraftmarket, that's one word, .com/Bellflower. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Santa Ynez. Public comments, Mr. Smoot.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this is the time set aside for the public to address the city council on matters not listed on the agenda. Anyone wishing to address the city council should come to the podium, be recognized by the mayor, and state your name for the record. If you wish to address the city council on an agenda item, you may do so by approaching the podium as we review that particular item. You'll be given 3 minutes to address the city council.
Thank you. Anybody want to give public comment? Now's your opportunity. We ask that you come up to the microphone here and sign in your name and address and announce who you are.
Okay, I've signed in. My name is Esther, and I'm here to address the Bellflower City Council and the mayor about the Bellflower Connect program that's in process as we speak. I have a few questions that I would like addressed, and I would like it to be put on the calendar for discussion to answer these questions. Why was the $70 billion for Bellflower Connect, 15 City Smart City, why was it under the auspices of COVID? 2, why is a broadband Wi-Fi access an emergency as stated it is part of the rescue plan of 2021? And 3, how are people being rescued as an emergency by broadband? Thank you.
Hi, my name's Don Beck. I signed in earlier. My question on the Bellflower Connect, if the city of Bellflower truly wanted to offer internet services to the poor and needy, why then are they not offering subsidies for current internet to the cellular providers and internet providers, and instead building, I'm guessing it's 5G or 6G, 5G network as part of the $70 billion expensive program? I'd like this item to also be put on the calendar for discussion in the public meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to come forward?
Yes, hello, Mayor. My name is Baldazar Fedelizo, and my question to you is, in the city of Bellflower is offering internet services as stated in the public records like other providers. Why is it an emergency for the city to set up their own infrastructure? And if we can get that on the calendar to discuss, I'd appreciate it.
All right.
Okay?
Time for your picture.
Thank you.
All right.
Sign in first real quick here. My name is Paul Jones. I am actually I'm a candidate for California State Assembly District 62. This is my district. I'm wondering, what is Bellflower City Council's mayor's what is your definition of an emergency? I'm sure you have an answer for that, so I would like to see that
It's based on
addressed.
how our funding is acquired. Sometimes that term is needed for funding.
But that's not explaining the infrastructure part of why it's called an emergency if this is coming from through the structure of the COVID. Is my question. I mean, people are asking me questions, and of course, I'm going to have to come to you to ask those
Understand.
questions.
And we'll answer all those questions. It sounds like there's many that have questions, and we may have to have a forum for the answers.
All right, thank you.
Anybody else?
Hello, my name is Florida. I also have a question in regards to the Bellflower Connect project. Was the Bellflower Connect voted on by Bellflower registered voters? I would like to have that answered as a discussion item. Thank
No,
you
it
so
was
much.
not.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Hi there. I don't have a question. Good afternoon, Mayor and council members. My name is April. I do want to voice some concerns over Bellflower Connect. I wrote it down so I wouldn't be super nervous. Hopefully it makes sense. From what I've observed, we're being told this is just citywide internet. However, there is much information out there to suggest otherwise. I believe this, if it isn't dealt with properly, it will have negative side effects on our city. I personally love Bellflower. I've lived here over 16 years and truly appreciate all you've done to make the city beautiful. I'm loving downtown and it's really creating a great experience to live here. However, with this coming to our attention about Bellflower Connect, I just have a couple concerns. One of them, if it is really just internet, if we're just talking about internet and that's it, is about mental health. I have teenagers and keeping them not constantly connected to the internet is a constant back and forth. And so we go to the park to get away from screens. And so to know that our entire city could be a hotspot isn't a benefit to our family, and I feel like it's not a benefit to our communities. In addition, I feel like with the struggles we're already having with homelessness, we're just drawing people, like, come here and use the internet, because we've got lots of it to share. So I just feel like that might be adding to other problems that we're having. And then, not to sound like an alarmist, but my daughter is studying World War II, and she just came to me and talked to me about how in Holland, when it was taken over by the Germans, she said, Mom, did you know that the city didn't actually know what was going on because they could control the information? And so they could just tell them what they wanted to know that was happening in the war, and they had to kind of get together secretly to find out what was really happening. So by creating an infrastructure where we have a closed network, we're kind of setting ourselves up for abuse. So that's a concern. Like, I don't know that it may start out as something so thoughtful as affordable internet for our community, but it has the potential to be abused drastically. So those are my concerns. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate all of you.
Did you indicate your last name?
Maynor, April
All right.
Maynor.
All right, and it's written down there. The reason being, put it on the minutes, that we record minutes where we record this, and it's always easier when we have the correct information.
Okay.
Thank you for your testimony. You only get one chance. Are you leaving, or are you going to speak again? No, I did have another. You only get one chance at the bucket, so we're moving on.
Yes, this is to all the members of the City Council and the Mayor. It took me a while before I could put together a picture of what you had done to Bellflower by this one move. It was complicated by terms used either in error or purposely to mislead the public. Let's start with the first term, 15-minute city, either coined or adopted by the World Economic Forum, which is headed by the communist Klaus Schwab. 15-minute city was later adopted by the United Nations in their pursuit to align themselves with the WEF and their agenda. Such terms were used by Schwab to describe one of the building blocks of his utopian world. A communist world in which you will own nothing and be happy about it. If you are familiar with this saying, and you should be, it is listed on the World Economic Forum's website, along with the 15-minute city plan, as well as the 17-point Sustainable Development Goals guidelines for Schwab's world communist utopia. None of this is speculation. I would like to accent that, please. It is all printed in English on the WEF website. This, along with their disclaimer that the 15-minute city neighborhood doesn't work so well for a suburban nation like the United States, and will do little to alter the harsh realities of economic and geographic inequality. 15-minute cities have appeared in different stages, in Europe and Asia, In China, where the 15-minute city first appeared, they are now under lockdown status. No one can ever forget the lockdown of the Chinese people who were televised screaming as the authorities set fire to their buildings as they burned alive. The second part of this two-part deal is the Wi-Fi providers. While this is touted as the free Wi-Fi plan, as I looked over the material, nothing I heard was free. Everything had a major price tag, which begs the question, who's paying for this? There is a coverage for 30,000 people, I guess, that pay in blocks designated according to the coverage that they can afford. But the representative claimed to focus on low-income people, assuming that Ericsson is not a nonprofit. Someone must be paying the hefty bulk of the cost, given the speed of which this has been thrust at the taxpayers without representation and ICCN's lightning speed deadlines.
Your time's up, ma'am.
They are scrambling to complete this as an exclusive contract.
Your time's up, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon, City Council, Mayor. My name is Andy Lai, and I'm here to actually call out the internet. You guys are trying to push something like a plan to bring internet expanded to the city, which I would like to call that out because we have internet, everyone has internet, and everyone can afford internet and sign up for internet. There's internet at the library for free. So the fact that you guys are trying to bring internet to you're trying to like push this on the public, I just want to call out what you guys are actually trying to do. You guys are trying to expand 5G and expand what the previous lady was talking about, the Internet of Things, the 15-minute cities, which is going to be run by 5G. It's going to control the cars. It's going to control the surveillance. Everyone is going to be tracked and surveilled, and we don't want that. This is not for us. This is a WEF Agenda 2030 agenda to control the population, and I'm really upset that you guys are trying to lie to the population and say that this is internet for people. I'm pretty sure you guys know what's going on because you guys wouldn't be, if you guys were really that dumb, you guys wouldn't be in the positions you're in, holding, city council seats. So clearly you guys know what's going on. So either you're dumb and don't know, or you do know and you guys are misleading the public, and we don't appreciate that. The residents of Bellflower do not appreciate that, and people are catching on to what's actually going on with this WEF agenda. And you guys, I hope you guys retract this plan because it's really not good. It's not good for us. It's not good for you. It's not good for your children. And this is not the type of society that you want to be living in. We want to live in a society where it's free and people have the ability to do what they wish, do what they want, work where they want, travel to where they want. And the 15-minute city is basically meant to lock us down, keep us enslaved, keep us in a 15-minute zone where all our shopping, all our traveling, school, and travel will be within a 15-minute zone, and that is not cool because we live in America, the land of freedom and opportunity, and the freedom to travel is essential. It's protected by the Constitution, so you guys, I hope you guys won't infringe upon our constitutional rights. And about the 5G, if you research the wavelengths, the electromagnetic waves that come from 5G, it's actually harmful to the body. It's harmful to birds. Birds who nest in trees near 5G towers end up getting sick. Trees even, their leaves end up falling from the 5G because of the radiation is so strong. So no to the 5G towers. We don't want that either. And yeah, thank you very much for your time. God bless you guys.
My name is Tiffany Manor. I'm here with my sister-in-law, April Manor.
And did you sign the register, please?
I am signed in, but April didn't add my last name. Apparently she thinks we're one. Anyway, thank you so much for having us. And I do just have a couple questions, but I actually am I like to assume that people are assume the best. and assume that maybe you're not aware, like with this system that you're putting in. Maybe you're really not aware of the things that have been presented today. And so I'm hoping that you will take into consideration the things that have been said and brought to attention, and that possibly we can have this added to the calendar for more discussion. I think that'd be really helpful. And I know that a lot of people, even myself, when I first saw the the billboard, initially I thought, oh, okay, that's cool. And then I thought, I don't know why I don't feel right about that. Something about that just rubs me the wrong way, and I'm really not sure why, but I feel really unsettled about it. And then I didn't initially look into it. It's only recently I really looked into it. But anyway, I do want to say, Jim, I think you've done a great job with business development. I've really enjoyed living here in Bellflower. I've been able to take advantage of awesome programs, and it's been a real pleasure. So I do hope that this isn't something that is brushed off and you're thinking, just foolish conspiracy people, and that we don't end up in a situation that we can't backtrack on, because even though it initially sounds fine, it does seem to be going in that the goal of it is not fine. So I have two questions. One is the 95% of Bellflower is serviced by Spectrum. Is this $70 billion considered in that January 21st rate increase? And then the second question is, what are the ways Bellflower citizens and residents will be potentially tracked and traced without their approval? So obviously these things have already been discussed, but I'm just kind of re-emphasizing that. And the 5G thing is a concern as well. I purposely turned my 5G off on my phone already. So anyway, thank you so very much. We do appreciate the great things you are doing, and thanks again. All right.
Thank you very much.
Hello, my name's Richard Osnaya. I already signed in.
Thank you.
I live here in Bellflower. I also own rental property in Bellflower. Last 4th of July, I received an illegal fireworks citation based on one of my tenants allegedly igniting illegal fireworks on my property. I was given the option of paying a $2,000 fine or paying a $500 deposit to have an administrative hearing where I could present any evidence to dispute the citation. I paid the $500 deposit to have an administrative hearing. At the hearing, I presented evidence that showed I didn't live at the property, therefore it wasn't me who detonated the illegal fireworks. The hearing officer showed me a video of illegal fireworks going off in the middle of the street in front of my property while my tenants were having their 4th of July cookout. The video didn't show anyone near the illegal fireworks as it was going off. I thought this evidence and the fact that I don't live at the property would be enough to get the citation dismissed. Of course, I received a letter from the city a few days later informing me that the hearing officer upheld the citation. The letter also said I had the option of paying the $1,500 balance of the citation or appealing the hearing officer's decision in LA Superior Court, which I did. I had my hearing on December the 1st. I'm happy to tell you that the judge hearing the case dismissed the citation. The judge told the person representing the city of Bellflower that the city can't hold landlords responsible for the actions of their tenants. I was happy with the judge's decision to dismiss the citation, but at the same time, I felt bad for all the landlords who live far away and are unable or unwilling to do all the work necessary to dispute this injustice, because it is a lot of work. Multiple trips to the courthouse in Los Angeles, multiple trips to Kinko's to make copies, multiple trips to City Hall, as well as a trip to the post office. I'd also like to know which council member had this bright idea to fine landlords $2,000 for something they did not do. This has to be one of the dumbest things I've ever heard of, and shame on the rest of the council for agreeing to this. This policy to fine landlords for the illegal activity of their tenants is truly ridiculous. I would think that the city council would have gotten legal advice from the city's attorney, and if that attorney advised the city council to issue citations to landlords for their tenants' illegal activity, then I suggest the city of Bellflower get new legal counsel, because the Los Angeles Superior Court judge ruled your policy of fining landlords is unlawful. Since this ordinance was implemented 3 years ago, the city of Bellflower has collected thousands of dollars from its landlords related to this unlawful practice. The city should do what's right and return all money back to landlords who were unjustly fined. If this doesn't happen, the city of Bellflower can expect a class action lawsuit. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? You can leave that with our city clerk.
Good afternoon. Let me
Good afternoon. Good
sign
afternoon.
in. My name is Andrew San Nicolas. I'm the Executive Director at Kingdom Causes Bellflower. Good afternoon, Honorable Mayor, respected council members. Great to be here with you. I just wanted to provide an update on all the good work that y'all helped us do at Kingdom Causes in 2023. So just take a few moments of your time. Hopefully some good news that you'll be encouraged by. In 2023, we were able to serve a total of 487 non-duplicated individuals with different services that they need. Out of those, we had 356 that received supportive services such as showers, food, hygiene kits, mail services, and case management. We had 32 individuals that were able to get jobs through GSI, our social enterprise. That is one of the organizations that you fund for us. And so we had 32 there. Out of that, we had 18 that were permanently, got permanent jobs from there. So that's folks, most of those are either homeless or they were struggling with housing, and so able to get a stable job will help them retain permanent housing in the future. So that is good stuff. We had 64 renters in the area that were at risk of becoming homeless that through programs was able to retain their housing and are still able to afford their rent. And then we had 30 neighbors who experienced homelessness were able to move off the streets into their own homes. Excitingly about this, in the last month, we are finding different ways. We had a bit of a staffing turnover. We're creating stronger partnerships with the current ones we have, the new ones, creating better understandings with landlords and what's going on. And so in the last month, actually in the last 3 weeks, we've had 3 individuals move out of the New Help shelter into permanent housing. All three of them have been there over a year. 2 of them had been there for almost 2.5 years, and we'd be able to get them out of the shelter into permanent housing, which is a good thing. And so those are the individuals that we have been able to serve. We are excited to keep doing the work, and we appreciate the support that you're giving us in the city, and we're excited just to be a part of helping Bellflower continue to be better in doing this together. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Andrew. Anybody else like to give testimony?
I already signed, but I'll put my last.
Okay. Pull the microphone down a little bit and we can hear you better. Okay. There you go.
Kind of nervous. Good afternoon, Mayor and council members. My name is Jan Gaddy. I am here on the issue of the 15-minute city. I just want to make this statement. Bellflower is a beautiful community. Its nickname is Friendly City. Our motto is growing together. And in the U.S. Census, it is a city that has a total area of 6.2 square miles of land, and 0.1 square miles of it is water. We have a post office, a library, a courthouse, a police substation. We're close to 3 major freeways, 91, 105, 605, 2 fire stations, number 23, number 98, care ambulance service, and our population of 2024 was 72,770. Now, before I go into my view of the 15-minute city, I would like to read the Constitution, the 14th Amendment, Section 1. All people who are born or naturalized in the United States and subject to their authority are citizens of the United States and of the state they live in. No state may or enforce law which diminishes the privileges or freedoms of citizens of the United States. No state may take away any person's life, liberty, or property without proper operation of law. No state may deny any person under its authority the equal protection of the laws. Now, my research, the 15-minute city concept is to divide into zones in a way that daily necessities and services are located within a 15-minute walk or bike ride. It's the mobility concept. Car restrictions in these zones make more space for pedestrians, helps cut back on combustible emissions. People being active by riding bikes or walking, 15 minutes daily. Fitness, reducing obesity. George Orwellian describes the 15-minute city concept as being destructive to the welfare of a free and open society. It denotes an attitude and a brutal policy of a draconian control by very severe codes of law, a dystopian, forgive me for pronouncing it wrong, being an image city or society in which is lived, being controlled and censored information, denied thought, being conformed to complacency, government micro-planning. It would also become even more so a division of middle class and poor or less fortunate, more segregation. It will be tough getting all services 15 minutes accessible in certain communities, AKA zones.
Your time's up, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
My name is Judy Calvin. I'm signing this. Okay, I just have a question.
Okay.
Hello, Mr. Mayor, Councilman. What does Bellflower stand on illegal immigration? And if that can be put on the dockets to discuss at another time or to give answers. That's all.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? I see everybody about in the room has spoken. And we'll take your questions and we'll work with them and we'll try to figure out somewhere where you can work this out together so you don't feel as though you're being taken advantage of. We have a new city manager, and I wanted to explain. We have if you're watching television or come to our meetings, you'll know that Jeff Stewart, who has been with us 12 years, retired at the end of last year. And so we put out a search for a new person to take his place, and we hired Ryan Smoot. And Ryan's going to give a little short biography of his life and his occupation before he got here. But I want to also introduce, you may see, who are these folks that sit at the front table? Carl Berger's our city attorney. He's been with us since 2015. And he's the one that will interact with us and make sure that we do the right thing and keep us out of trouble, legally and otherwise. And sometimes we say some things that we need to have his interpretation on. Our city clerk here is Myra Chichi. She's been with us 12 years, 8 years as our city clerk. She does a wonderful job of keeping track of all the minutes, as she's doing tonight, our agendas. She keeps all the forms that need to be sent into the feds, into the state, into the county, on our occupations and our investments, so that everybody knows what we're doing, and that's all online. And so she's an important part of what we do. So these three individuals here have been with us to do the immense work of the city of Bellflower. But I just wanted to take the time to introduce you our new city manager, Ryan Smoot. And Ryan, would you please give us a little overview of your history up till now?
Certainly, Mr. Mayor. As you all are aware, for the benefit of the public, this is not my first stint in the city of Bellflower. In fact, it's not my second stint in the city of Bellflower. This is actually my third time working for the city of Bellflower. Bellflower has been a part of my life for long before that, though. I grew up around the area. Many of my friends in high school and college were in the area, so I spent a fair amount of time here. In fact, I was one of the kids. When you all built the skate park, I was one of the kids out there skateboarding on a regular basis. So many, many years ago. I don't think I'll be doing that anytime soon. But I did start my career here in Bellflower as a volunteer in the city manager's office. I was fortunate enough to work for both Mike Egan and Jeff Stewart and have them, I count them both as friends, both as mentors as well. And eventually I left and went down to Orange County and served in the city of Villa Park as the assistant to the city manager there. And was brought back to the city of Bellflower to be the assistant to the city manager here under Jeff Stewart. Eventually, being the good mentor he was, Jeff encouraged me to go interview with the city of Lomita, and ultimately I was offered the position as their city manager, and I served there for the last 8 years before Jeff decided it was time to call time on his career, and here I am, back in the city of Bellflower.
All right, well, we appreciate that you took the job, and we're looking forward to working with you. And you have all, 5-6 days in now?
I think so. This is actually my third day in the office, so.
Right.
It's,
we recently had to go to Sacramento, the city council, and Ryan accompanied us along with several other staff members. And so we got to know Ryan even better after spending time with him all day during the seminars. And we just really appreciate his integrity. And we're gonna begin a new chapter as we develop the city of Bellflower. We're not quite finished with it yet, and we believe that there's a lot of good things still coming on the horizon. If you would like to stay, I know a lot of you are here to give the public's testimony, and you're more than welcome to stay throughout the meeting, but I'm gonna give you an opportunity to leave if you'd like without disrupting anything else. But if you're a younger crowd and from high school, you'd say you were gonna go home and do homework, but I don't think you're of that mind. But you're welcome to stay, but I'll give you an opportunity to dismiss yourself if you'd like. Thank you all for coming. Uh-huh. Move on.
Mayor, before we go to the next item, I just want to ask a question because I haven't missed a meeting for quite some time. And I don't know if there's
I
any.
don't think you've ever missed a meeting.
If there was any discussion about this 15-minute city.
No,
Is there any discussion about that?
no discussion.
There has been no discussion.
Okay, okay. So,
No,
so
we've never-
I haven't missed anything.
No.
Okay.
And I had heard when it was brought up at a previous meeting that many staff members had to look it up to find out what it was. Am I wrong in saying so, Mr. City Attorney?
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, it's an interesting term to me. Thank you.
Okay.
And I didn't know anything about it until we were blindsided last meeting.
Right.
Okay.
When they
All right.
showed up.
And
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure where we go from here. Obviously, there's some questions that need to be dealt with. Some of those I could have answered today, but I didn't think it was appropriate. I didn't want to get in a debate. It's public testimony, but we need to be aware of their concerns and somehow figure out a way of addressing it to put them back in their comfort zone. They seem to think that we have some sort of wish to change the way freedoms are done in Bellflower, and
I was wondering if maybe what we can do is, because I don't want to waste their time coming here about this issue that may not be here anyway. So one suggestion is if staff can reach out to them and find out exactly what's the connection between the Bellflower Connect. I think that was the trigger for all this discussion. What's the connection between the Bellflower Connect and the 15-minute city? Because the 15-minute city is a very different concept than, it's not just Bellflower Connect, it's basically confining people within a 15-mile radius. And as you remember, some of the complaints we have here is there's no grocery in certain sections of the city. So that is, the 15-minute city is not plausible in Bellflower because we don't have the infrastructure to support neighborhood within a 15-minute drive or walk or bike ride. So my suggestion is, so that we can kind of address this, is for staff to reach out to them and find out exactly where the connection is. Maybe they're missing something about it.
no, I think we need to address it, but
Right, exactly.
now is
but-
not the day or the time, but
No,
staff
I
is
would
aware
start-
of
I
our
would start-
concern.
I would start with staff
Right,
connecting
so
with
staff
them.
could try to
Mr.
figure
Mayor,
out where we go from here.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, I can probably answer the question in about a minute, which is Bellflower Connect is broadband wireless access from anywhere within the city. The funding was provided through ARPA funding,
Right.
which was approved during the pandemic, and that's the extent of it. There is no deep-seated conspiracy to create some sort of world order in Bellflower, as far as I know. And so the rest of it is simply Wi-Fi access. And if folks don't want to do Wi-Fi access, then
It's
don't do
elective,
Wi-Fi
isn't it?
access, yes, and turn off the phones.
I wonder how many of those people have Wi-Fi in their houses.
Well, I wonder how many of those people have their phone in their pocket.
Yeah,
I'm sure they do. Well, the lady said she turned off her 5G.
yeah.
There's a huge disconnect.
Yeah.
One, if staff's gonna do something, we just had a nice presentation about Area 1 with Connect.
Right.
Maybe put that online. We just did a presentation, Mr. Smoot, and
I think that's what triggered.
educational.
I think that's what triggered that because she was here. She was taking photos of Mr. Alexis' presentation that evening. Mr. do you remember that? She was taking photos of the
Yes, I do.
slide.
Yes.
Oh, that may have
So,
triggered it, yeah.
I think that was the trigger, I think.
It's actually already online as part of the city council meeting video on YouTube, so it is available already.
Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Sure, go right ahead.
I feel we were kind of all just jumping in without a order. Jim, can you just put on the record, ARPA funding and the ARPA funding allowed for this kind of use mainly because when COVID happened, it became very what's the word I'm gonna use here? There was a huge digital divide. It became apparent that there was a digital divide and that there were a lot of families who actually cannot afford internet, and that actually do not have the proper bandwidth or broadband to actually do their homework, to participate in school, to, when all that happened, some people couldn't work remotely, things of that nature. That's the reason why the ARPA funding allowed for this kind of use.
That is true, and that is one of the big reasons why this is moving forward, and we've actually only using $1 million of the ARPA funding for in-home wireless units to help those low-income families that need it.
Which provide their income, which provide all their information and all their data,
Correct.
and it's optional.
Correct.
Thank you, Mr. DeLonga.
And I enjoy the future of having the students in our town be able to access their classrooms, where many of them were left out of the situation because they didn't have the device, they didn't have the internet, and they lost a year or two of school because of that. They weren't welcome in the classroom, so they had to. So that was my reasoning to accept what we have gone forward. Suddenly, we've got a whole world order at our concern. So,
Mr. Mayor and members of the council, there's also a whole web page for Bellflower Connect on the economic development section of the city's website that provides all that information, describes the phasing that we're going through to get it installed. So that's also out there for folks as well.
all right. All right, enough of that. Okay, go ahead.
Word here is optional. It's optional.
No, you don't.
correct?
No, yeah, you don't have to buy it
Nobody
or
has
get it
to
as a
sign
gift.
up. No one has to use it. There's no, just the same way I don't have to own a cell phone. Yeah, it's on.
Yeah.
But I just want to make sure, because I am newer, but it's optional.
No, it's not forced
So
on you.
That's what I
It's
wanted
an
to.
enhancement.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
All right, so we worked through public comments. There's no public hearings, ordinance and items. So right now we're on item 13, consideration item. Mr. Smoot.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this item is consideration and possible action to consider adopting resolution number 24-01, a resolution consenting to the inclusion of the property located at 8827 Artesia Boulevard at Bellflower, California, in the California Statewide Communities Development Authority Open PACE program. And I think Mr. DeLonga has a presentation for you.
Thank you, Mr. Smoot. Good afternoon, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council. In October 2023, the city received notice that the owner of the Woodspring Suites Hotel, located at 8827 Artesia Boulevard, requested that the California Statewide Communities Development Authority, or CSCDA, and PACE Equity provide a refinancing through the PACE program for the energy efficient improvements that were part of the construction of the hotel. In order for the owner to utilize this financing tool, the city must consent to the inclusion of the subject property in the program. For a little background, the CSCDA is the largest joint powers authority in the state and was founded by the League of California Cities and the California State Association of Counties. The CSCDA implemented the Property Assessed Clean Energy, or PACE program, on behalf of its members. The PACE program allows for property owners to enter into voluntary contractual property tax assessments to finance or refinance the installation of various energy efficient, water efficient, and seismic strengthening improvements on their property. CSCDA has designated and pre-qualified several third-party program administrators, including PACE Equity, who is working on this transaction. For this transaction, the improvements installed on the property would be financed by the issuance of bonds by CSCDA, and they would be secured by a voluntary contractual assessment levied on the owner's property tax and collected as part of their property tax bill. The CSCDA, not the city, will be responsible for entering into the voluntary contractual agreement with the owner, levying the assessment on the owner's property, issuing the bonds, and taking remedial actions if the owner is delinquent in making the assessment payments. The proposed resolution is specific to the property located at 8827 Artesia Boulevard. No other properties in the city are contemplated. Staff recommends the City Council adopt resolution number 24-01 providing city consent to the inclusion of the property located at 8827 Artesia Boulevard in the CSCDA Open Pace Program and authorizing related actions, or alternatively discuss and take another action related to this item. That completes my presentation, and staff's available for questions.
All right. Thank you, Jim, for your report. Any questions? Let's start with Sonny. Sonny, you always have an idea of a question. I'll let you lead it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was reading the staff report, and I kind of find this very fascinating. So, so we signed up with a JPA way back in 1988, right? Has there been any property that took advantage of this program?
The Kaiser property did.
Oh, the Kaiser, okay.
Yes.
So basically, they issue the bond, and they collect the money from the property owner over the period of time. So I'm assuming it's a great deal in terms of the interest rate by issuing bonds instead of borrowing directly from a lender.
It would seem so because they are taking advantage of the program, so there must be some benefit, and they can finance it over a much longer period of time, the bond period. So with Kaiser, they did that as well, and so the Woodspring Suites sees this as an advantage. It is an assessment on their property tax, so they'll be paying it off annually through their property tax.
Yeah, to me it looks like it's a great program, but it has to be availed of by a major project, not a small project, to make it worthwhile. That's I'm assuming.
Correct, and I mean, there's a residential version of this that people can use as well.
That's
I think
Hero program.
Hero program.
Hero program, yeah,
Similar,
okay.
yeah.
And I think someone tried to do it here, but it didn't fan out, right?
I think so, but I don't
That was
have a
few
full
years ago,
recollection of that. yeah.
Before COVID, I remember that because someone made the presentation and then at the end of the day it didn't pencil out. Okay, well, it's a great program. I wish that other property owners will take advantage of this. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Mayor.
Victor, any questions?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Just one. I just want to make sure we have. I know it's in the report. There is no monetary responsibility on our part whatsoever, which is great.
Correct.
Yeah. Just want to highlight that.
All right. Wendy, have you any questions?
I have none.
Mr. Dutton?
Yeah, just educational for us up here. Is this a program that you have to have something already built and done to get financing on it for transition loans?
No, it can be a refinance, as the Woodspring Suites is doing. They've already installed all that stuff as part of Title 24 and their building permit, so they're doing actually a refinancing.
So you can't apply for the program for future construction?
You can do that as well.
Really?
Could be for new projects or refinancing of existing.
Because I know what construction loans cost. It's like, whoa.
But it would be for your energy improvements, specific to the energy efficiency, water efficiency, seismic.
It'd be a big portion of a big building that's
correct.
energy efficient.
Yeah, especially since those are becoming such a big part of construction in California now.
All right. Like I was with Sonny, this is amazing. When you borrow money, but it's like it's another tool in our. I never knew it until we seen it come across our staff report. But it's another tool in the toolbox for economic development. Is the way I see it.
Yeah, it was one of the first time I heard about it as well, because it doesn't get used very often.
Yeah, and this property owner somehow knew about it and asked about it.
Yeah, they went straight to the CSCDA, and the CSCDA or Development Authority came to us and requested this of us, and so we were doing research on it to find out more about it.
More about it. So everybody's getting educated, not just me. Huh?
Well, it's not their first project in California. They're probably aware of it.
Well, this is just a state program. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Right. Everybody got their question answered? Anybody in the public would like to give their opinion? And so I'm looking for a motion for this.
So I'd like to make a motion for the City Council to adopt Resolution 24-01.
I'll second that, Mr. Mayor.
All right, we have a motion by Councilmember Sonny San Ynez, supported by Councilmember Victor Sanchez. Please poll the council.
Mayor Pro Tem Dutton,
Aye. That's a
Council-
yes.
Councilmember Morse,
Aye.
Councilmember Sanchez,
Aye.
Councilmember Santinas,
Aye.
Mayor Coops.
Aye. Moving right along to item 14, consent calendar. Is there anyone that wants to pull an item for discussion? We have no recusals due to property conflicts, it looks like, but you may have another reason why you'd like to bring it forward. Do you have anybody, anything? Nothing get pulled, okay. Looking for a motion on the consent calendar.
Move it.
Second?
All right, we have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Ray Dutton, supported by Councilmember Sonny Santinas. Please poll the council.
Mayor Pro Tem Dutton,
Aye.
Councilmember Morse,
Aye.
Councilmember Sanchez,
Aye.
Councilmember Santinas,
Aye.
Mayor Coops.
Aye. Council comments. We'll start on the left here. Sonny, have you anything you would
I
like
have
to
no
offer?
report tonight, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Mr. Sanchez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just briefly, I'd like to officially welcome Mr. Smoot at his first council meeting, and just looking forward to working with you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Ms. Morse.
I have nothing.
Mr. Dutton.
Nothing.
Well, I
No-
think
no
it's the
comments.
first, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, no, I'll say something. We've all, except for Mr. Dutton, traveled to Sacramento, met with our legislators, productive meeting. Some of the staff members, Mr. Smoot, Mr. Seiss went with us, and it went well. And I think it was good for us to be there and find out what's coming up. We heard about the new budget and how that'll affect us, and how Sonny claims we just lost $2.8 million, but we'll move on from that. But 2.7. I always add 100,000 to it for breakage. So I guess that pretty well concludes it. Oh, except I have one item that I wanted to bring up, and that's I am not the angel of death, but I always seem to be the one that announces those that I'd like to dedicate the meeting to in their memory because of their loss, their demise. So Vivian Faith Talsma, resident for a long time here in Bellflower. Her middle name is Faith, and that's what she used as her name. Born July 20, 1943, passed away December 19, 2023, at the age of 80. Faith was born in Laverne, Minnesota, fourth of 10 children. She attended country school for 8 years before continuing her education at Dawson High School in 1959. Her family relocated to California, and she graduated from Artesia High School in 1961. Faith married her husband Ron Talsma on August 17, 1961, and she was a dedicated homemaker, talented seamstress, and she also operated a daycare center from her home. In 1980, Faith became a licensed foster parent, a position she held until her retirement in 2011. Over the years, she lovingly cared for 58 different foster babies, leaving a lasting impact on their lives. She was a devoted member of First Christian Reformed Church here in Bellflower, and a loving wife, mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother. And our deepest sympathies and heartfelt condolences go out to the Talsma family. Faith would take the babies that were born, many of them were drug babies, and her family would tell of going to the home, and many times she would just be rocking a baby that had been born with a drug problem because the mother was in that situation. And the baby would just cry and cry and cry. And she had the patience to work through that situation. And she had 3 biological children, and she grew so attached to one of those babies, they adopted him as her own. And so just a real model person in our community. Sad for her to leave, but she had a great life. And it was all done basically here in Bellflower, contributing to the betterment of our area. And I wanted to honor that tonight by adjourning this meeting in her honor. So with that, our next regular meeting of the Bellflower City Council will be held at 5 p.m. Monday, January 22nd, 2024 in the Green Room. And that'll be for the outgoing mayor's ceremony for our outgoing mayor of Sonny Santinas. And we'll call this meeting adjourned at 4:30.